Hello there, this is Patricia from Pinky's World, and today I'm making little gift packages that contain some Tic Tacs, and I have been putting inspirational quotes on them they're for workers in a workplace. You're doing better than you think. I've put for you on the front, on the bottom, believe in yourself, and on the inside you've got this, and nice wee pack of Tic Tacs. So it's just a wee gift for a few workers somebody had ordered from. I thought I'd share the video that I designed for them. So it is pretty quick and easy. Obviously, I have a lot of these to do, so I don't want to be too long and stuff. So the first thing you need to do is get yourself a piece of white card or whatever colour you want to go with, and it needs to be 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. And you want to do a bit of scoring. So on the first section, score at 1 1/4, which is 1 2/8, 1 7/8, 3 4/8, which is 3 1/2, and 4 1/8. And turn it around, and you want to go at 5/8. Oh, sorry, hold a second. Sorry, somebody came to the door there, so the light in this room today is not very good, it's not. Pull these curtains over, see if it helps. So, where are we? Right, we're done this side. We'll go back over that again for you. So we scored at 1 inch, 1 5/8. Oh, sorry, 1 inch. We're doing this all wrong today, whatever's going on. Where am I? See when you get disrupted. 1 inch, right? I don't know how that's at 1 inch, shouldn't it? I must have done it this way. I'm a twit. Right, 1 1/4, which is 1 2/8, was your first one. Your second one was 1 7/8, right? 3 4/8. And then 4 1/8, and then we turned it round and we did 5/8, 1 2/8, 3 7/8, 4 4/8. My God, that was exhausting, wasn't it? All measurements and score lines will be on my blog, and the link will be down below, which should help you immensely. So there is a 1 inch section here and a 1 3/8 section. We want to turn the 1 inch section to the top, and then you're going to get your scissors and cut from here up to here, the second bar in. So just cut straight up to that line there, where you have 1 line, 2 lines, okay? So now we're going to turn it around and we're going to cut it off there and make that point where we cut to. So you have got this bit of waste, but keep it because it's really handy for punching these out of. So nothing goes to waste. So go to the next wee section beside it and cut up the 2 score lines. And you're left with these 2 wee sections here. We want to cut this one off and part of this one. So doesn't have to be precise, just chop off a bit so it's not too bulky, and then cut them in nice and neat. Just taper them, and you're left with that. So you want to do the exact same on this side, up to here, and cut here. I need a new pair of scissors if anybody can recommend any. But I need them with the larger hole and a smaller hole. I can't do with 2 small ones. It just will not work for me. So cut this section up here. Again, we're going to lose 1 section and part of the inner section. So just chop it off and then taper in. And keep your scraps and get rid of these. So to decorate it, give them all a slight wee mark so you get the shape into your head. and that keeps you straight. The first thing we want to do is this section here away from this. We want to round our corners just to give it a nice wee finish. And we have 2 pieces of coordinating paper that we want to round as well. And your DSP measurements, you'll need 2 of these, and they measure 1 inch by 2 3/8. Everything is 2 3/8 long, so each section will be different. You need 2 at 1 inch, and you want to slide that in and round the corners on one side of it, so you're left with a nice wee rounded top. And do that to both of the 1 inch sections. And that's all your rounding done. So those 2 sections go here, obviously. So we're just going to stick them in place now, and then I'll tell you the next ones. And this is nice gingham paper that I've used from the 6x6 inch gingham pack. So you want to stick one to either side of the part where you rounded your corners. Just match them up. Excuse me, and 2 on the other side. And these were the 1 inch width. So we're going to have another piece for in here, and it measures 1 3/8 by 2 3/8. But I don't want to put the inside one in yet, so we'll keep it, flip it over, I'm covered in glue. Flip it over and put it on this section here. Keep the other one until you form the wee box inside. So we have one more wee bit, and that is a 1 inch, isn't it 1 inch? No, it's 1 piece by 6/8 and the same length, 2 3/8. And it will go here. And that decorates it all. So we're going to keep those. These wee ones, you cut off the end of a piece. You use very little, less than half a sheet for the DSP for this. And you're left the wee strip which you can cut in half. It's about 6/8 wide. And it needs to be, 5/8 wide by 6/8. And that should fit into here, which it doesn't. It's too big. So you don't need to, but you can put it in. I'm going to hand trim it rather than wasting it. So trim it down to half an inch. Half an inch is probably good enough. And they will sit there. So half an inch by 6/8. Actually, half an inch by an inch, probably, if that's an inch. No, that wasn't. It was 6/8, so I'm right. I'm really frazzled today. So stick those to the 2 inner pieces. 6/8 long by half an inch, roughly wide. Just if you want to. It's just a bit of scrap left, and I thought I would cover them up. So that should be us all covered, bar this piece that goes in here when we'll make our box. But we want to do our stamping now. So, if you can see this one, I have put the stamping this way. So you want, to read this way. So we're going to start with our first stamp and our sweet sorbet that matches this. And the first one reads, "You're doing better than you think." So just make sure your paper's sitting nice and flat and try and get it in the center. The next one we want to do is on the bottom of this. which will be believe in yourself. So we want it to read like this because the box will be sitting like this. So turn it round and get your stamp. These are out of various stamp sets, and I'm going to tell you a list underneath this video if you're interested in them. They're great stamp sets to have for the likes of this. So that's those two. Inside we want to put You've Got This, so it reads this way. So you've got this. These out of the way. So now we can make up our wee box. Close this just in case. So we can start doing a bit of burnishing. Make sure your stamping's dry. Just burnish all your folds so they're nice and crisp. My glue's still wet on that. So just watch. Excuse me. Ugh, right there you have it, come on. Did I do those ones that I didn't? And now we're finally going to build this box up. So fold your two wee lower flaps in and put some good heavy duty glue. You don't want this bursting open on them. And then just set that up nice and straight and bring that one in and push that against it so it's forming that nice wee box shape. Same on the other side, and just double check it that you're happy that you're nice and neat. Make sure it takes, and then we're going to add a bit of glue to either of these, or both of these I should say, not either. And we're going to bring that box onto the base and just make sure that it's nicely lined up at both sides before you commit. Seems okay. And that forms that nice wee holder for your treats to go in. But we have this nice wee bit of paper to cover all those joins inside, which is the second piece. Oh my goodness. The second piece, you have 2 and 2 and 1 pieces when you're cutting. This was the wider one, which was 1 3/8 by 2 3/8. And it just slips in there, and that's the time you're glad you use slippy glue, because it allows you to straighten things up before it dries. And it just finishes it off nicely. And you can put your treats inside, close this up, and then we want something to hold this wee flap down. And that's where this baby comes into play. This comes from the Alpha Best set, and I have used Just From You from the Country Floral set. So get your scraps that you kept and your ink pad. We're going to stamp the nice wee, give a variety of these to choose from. I've just gone with the plainish one. And for you inside it, and we want to punch it. You could put thank you or whatever you want on the front, but you need something to hold that wee thing closed for you. Didn't want to bother with Velcro or anything like that. It just makes the gifts so expensive, and you don't want to make them too dear. So you need a wee line of double-sided. We're just going to stick it to the bottom of the For You. Just take the glue off one side so that it's on the bottom part of the other side. And we're going to slip this. I'm actually going to take this off. So we're ready to stick it. So make your closure, make sure everything's nice and straight. You know, you don't want to push down too far. You want to keep that nice edge there. So set it flat and do that. Raise the lid up slightly so that you can slide this to where it is central between those two areas. Make sure you're happy with where it's coming. It generally comes down to the bottom of the paper there. And then just give it a good press, and that is your box nicely secured. Hope it's not stuck. There, it's okay. So that is it, more or less finished. You could put a thank you here. You could personalize it, especially if you have that alphabet set. You could put their initial on it if you want to give it to a particular person. But either way, that is it. And I think it's a nice sweet. Oh, I've done that upside down, but it'll not matter. I've about a dozen of them ready. These ones are mostly the pink. I was working on the blue. So if you enjoy giving those type of wee gifts out, they're great for a craft fair. And as I say, you can get the orange and peppermint at the minute in Lidl, which will fit these boxes perfectly. So thanks for sticking there. I was a bit jumbled today, but we got there in the end. Everything will be listed below, and all the sizes will be linked to my blog, and all the measurements will be there for you to pick up. Thanks for watching now. Bye.